The potential for a U.S.-Iran war is already affecting oil prices. Let's bring in oil trader and Fox Business contributor Phil Flynn. Phil, I go back to the attacks on Iran's nuclear program. The oil facilities were left pretty much alone in that strike, and I think most observers felt like President Trump doesn't want to see the oil facilities damaged and doesn't want to see oil prices spike. He's trying to get this economy under control and inflation down. What are you thinking? What are you expecting?
No, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, when you look at the previous operations that President Trump has done, it's always been about doing it in a strategic way with the least impact on oil prices as possible. You know, we saw that during the attack of Iran's nuclear infrastructure. We saw it in Venezuela, you know, with the quick removal of Maduro. And actually, that's one of the things that's probably keeping the prices lower than they would have. But I'll tell you this, it's going to be tough this time, John, because if you had to write a scenario about a potential oil price spike, Iran's threat against the Strait of Hormuz is that script, and it's going to be very much a challenge, but I think President Trump has some plans to do that.
So oil prices are climbing, as we noted in the introduction. Is that because of worries over Iran?
It is. I mean, what we're seeing is what they call in the business risk premium being put in. You know, we buy the rumor of war, we sell the fact of war, and that happens all the time. And we've seen the prices move up dramatically. In fact, Brent crude went to the highest level since the last time we attacked Iran. And of course, people thought they'd go a lot higher after the attack. But it didn't happen. You know, once the attack happened, things were under control, prices came right back down. Now, this is what the oil market's trying to wonder about this time. Is it going to be the same type of operation, quick, one and done, and it's over? You know, we're not sure. I mean, the amount of ships the Navy is sending over, this huge armada, they're getting prepared for a longer conflict. And if that's the case, it's going to have more of an impact on oil prices than it has in the past.
We have a graphic showing oil prices and where they've been going back to March of 2025. You can see the dip in January of this year. We'll put that graphic on the screen here momentarily. You can see there's the dip around January of this year, and prices have been kind of on an upward spiral ever since. Now, these are oil prices, but you can pretty much directly translate that into gasoline prices as well, right, Phil?
You sure can. I mean, when you see the price of oil go up, look at your gas tank, right? And diesel. But I'll tell you, under President Trump, prices are generally lower than they were during the last administration. Even though they've been creeping up, they're still at relatively stable prices. You know, the market has been in balance. The extra supply we've been getting from Venezuela has kept those prices under control. But when you have a growing economy, you have more risk to supplies, you know, they start to go up. And you know, the doomsday scenario here is if Iran tries to follow through with their threat, if attacked, to try to shut down the Strait of Hormuz. That's going to be the scenario the traders are going to watch, because that could cause a major price spike. I don't think they're going to have the ability to do it over the long run, but even in the short run, it would have a major impact on prices, major impact on your wallet, too.
Yeah, you talked about the prices under the Trump administration. If you go back a year, when the president had just taken office, gasoline prices were averaging about $3.12 a gallon, according to AAA. By last month, it had dropped nearly 30 cents to $2.83. Now it's up to $2.93. And I guess it sounds like, Phil, you expect it might go a bit higher, huh?
I think it will, at least in the short term. Yeah, but we could see a price crash if there is some way to postpone this attack, or if something doesn't happen. You know, if the Iranian regime gives in, I don't know if that's going to happen, but if it does, you could see the prices go down dramatically. I really think, you know, if you look at the way that the Trump administration, the U.S. military has planned these attacks, you know, I would expect it to be fairly successful. So any short-term pop, you know, probably would lead to an even bigger drop, you know, once the market calmed down and got a real viewpoint of how this attack or peace situation would work out.
Yeah, well, the president is giving the mullahs a chance to come to the table. Let's see whether they take advantage of it. Phil Flynn, we'll be talking to you some more, I'm sure. Thanks, Phil.
Thanks, John. Appreciate it.
You bet.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.